well, just been awesome. Now let's kick this off on Antigonus. Again, this is one of the maps we've seen least in the entire tournament. And as we are going into it, again, this is best of 7 semi-finals. This is the bottom left-hand side. We start off this Team Liquid team kill with the red Protoss player, MaNa. To the upper right-hand side, our blue Terran from Team Liquid is uThermal. Game 1 of this best of 7 series on Antigonus. Now, this map's not been too popular. It's the only map in the map pool with the in-base expansion, albeit this in-base has less mineral patches than the usual 8. It has 6. You expand down to a third base, you do get this base which points towards your opponent to some extent. Not quite as extreme as on King Sejong, etc., but natural to natural by air is still pretty close, or third base to third base by air. Rocks on the side of this third base can be taken down and moved towards the gold. On the right-hand side, you can move down over here, and you can obviously take another base as well. We've actually seen a bit of a mixture of gold bases, this base on the right. When we have seen this map, it's actually generally given us some longer games and some interesting games with different bits and pieces coming up and so on. So, let's just hope that holds true today. Let's just hope that we see more of this moving onward. Reaper starts on up. Now both players are looking for a very standard expansion in the very first map here. It means that we see a Nexus coming down from MaNa, where you see the command center from the Reaper expand for uThermal in just a few moments. Just being blocked by this probe. We'll drop it down though in position in the end. Just 30-40 minerals late, nothing too extreme. That probe being chased away by the SCV. Again, Reaper is about to pop out here, and Reaper should be able to chase that probe down, because that probe actually hasn't done a lot of running. So this probe will actually fall. It tries to hide away into the corner, but uThermal is here to see it already, and that's a big pickup from uThermal. It means no proxy pylons. With that, I mean, obviously MaNa could send another probe out on the map, but it means for now, no proxy pylons. It means he can now focus on just going straight across the map and going to just go harass a little bit. By the way, this, you know this little bush here? It reminds you of like a Dark Templar scythe for some reason. Does anyone else see that? I don't know, maybe that's just me. Anyways, it's like a double scythe. It's like a scythe doubled up. And I think of it because I think the Dank Shrine logo looks like that. Or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being crazy. Anyways, Reaper is just going to be moving around. It is going to be heading up in towards the main base. Just wants to get out of there alive. I find it funny that you can actually get out of here as the Reaper. It's like just a couple of rocks. It sort of makes it look like it's not actually an exit point, but it truly is. It truly is. Stargate is coming down and about to complete from MaNa as we have this little thing going. Whoa! Whoa! What is it doing? MaNa is injecting hacks into his Nexus, guys. What is that? He's got like a muley Terran thing. Oh no, is this uThermal sabotaging MaNa's base? Maybe that's more realistic of an explanation. Drama, uThermal sabotaging the base of MaNa. As the Reaper comes in and kills, goes in for the scout, whatever. uThermal's new... I mean, what even is this unit? Oh man, MaNa. Well, that's not good for him. A new unit on the map that can attack. What is this? I can mess around, obviously. It's just a decoration on the map. I'm just having a bit of fun. The map's actually pretty well decorated. I like all these little corners of different bits and pieces. You got some, dead people down here, which is always great to find. Oracle is about to head in towards the main base, though, and is going to be looking for a couple of kills. Marines come into position and do ward it off, though. Cyclone can lock on instantly if he sees this. Viking coming through. I mean, Cyclone and Viking are like the most defensive setup you can get. And again, it's a Stargate. It pretty much just guarantees that MaNa is not going to be able to get enough damage done. A few Marines from uThermal pulling back up towards the top side. This Viking coming back over again. Oracle just sitting above this watchtower on the left. Forge, Twilight Council coming down. Nexus building on the third base. So MaNa already starting to expand right now. As the Oracle will think about maybe starting to head in towards the main base. Viking is... also just kind of pulling back towards the upper side of the map. Oracle taking a little bit of a hit. Stim pack +1 attack also still just coming through here. Marines getting a little bit of a pick off, getting rid of the Adept, which is poking at the front, so getting rid of that information that MaNa was trying to pick up on, getting rid of a little bit of MaNa's map control. So a little bit more freedom now, as you do see the extra barracks continue to set up. The stim pack and the combat shield both setting up here on the main base, with a couple of Widow Mines from uThermal still on the way up as well. uThermal just continues to set himself into a very, very strong position. Four more gateways on the way up, and again, a few Phoenix just going to come and sit between the main and the natural. These Phoenix have been on the way up for a little while, and obviously if you commit into a few of them, you will have the ability to shut down drops a bit more easily, pick off harassing units a bit more easily, etc. Oracle coming back over will fly straight over the freshly placed Widow Mine, and that's actually a big pick off there from uThermal. Not only does it send pieces of Oracle flying, but it takes away the map vision that you usually get as a Protoss player. You know, before he was killing off an Adept, now he kills an Oracle. There's no revelations, he can't track where these medevacs are coming from. And that means that MaNa, well, a lot of the time he'd have a revelation, so he'd be in position to deflect this job. Now it's a guessing game. You can't be everywhere at once at this stage, and, well, if uThermal just goes straight in towards this natural, you might be able to just get unloaded before anything really happens, although the Phoenix are set up perfectly. uThermal sees them instantly boosting away, unloading the Marines, and just telling those Phoenix to try and get him now. 16 of the Marines will start to push toward the natural, the third base, sorry. I always do this on in-base maps. I have a tendency to call the third base the natural, just because you expect it to be coming down here and so on. It looks like a natural on any other map if you forget about the in-base. So uThermal's actually brought the rest of his army across. He's actually rallying a lot more units, so uThermal is up 30 army supplies he sets up here. Widow Mines will burrow charge from the Zealots as they come forwards. I mean, Widow Mines got lifted up quite a lot by the Phoenix already. These Zealots now with charge on cooldown are being pushed away. A lot of Widow Mines got killed, but there's so much bio left over. More Zealots will warp in. Cyclone here in the front will tank some of these Zealots. That's actually great, because it's better that the Cyclone tanks the damage and goes down rather than the bio units. Shield battery is now used up. We'll see the cannon in some trouble too. uThermal kiting backwards as the Zealots still charge forwards. Phoenix helping out where they can, lifting up a unit or two. There's too many Marines for these Phoenix to really commit in though. Cannon is going to fall now. Liberators are going to show up, and they will siege up to help out the ground fight. A couple of Widow Mines still setting up as well, and will not burrow this just yet as uThermal tries to chase down the Phoenix, trying to protect his Liberators, but he's already pushed the ground army away. He's going to force an evacuation of the third base, and uThermal will continue to press in here, and it looks as though he'll take down the shield battery, he'll take down this Nexus. Widow Mine in the background is going to be able to pick up those Phoenix, and we are going to be seeing the bio continuing to work their way through the Nexus. So third base falls. uThermal with the attack has made it work. Will lose a Widow Mine towards the back here, although he gets a Phoenix for that. One Marine, what a hero. Only needed one Marine to take it down. Widow Mine now burrowing behind the bio, supported by the Liberator and a couple of Zealots. We're already going down here. The Sentry will drop a force field. Whoop, the Phoenix actually getting hit by the Widow Mine there, not the Zealots. uThermal still has a Marauder, which is actually doing the majority of the tanking for him. Comes forward, the Phoenix go down, the Sentry gets killed. This Marauder is running as it's targeted, but the Marines keep on fighting, and uThermal will find himself with the first game of this series, looking 1-0 here on the top right-hand side of the map. He is our Red Terran player. Again, give it up if you're cheering on uThermal. I really love this map, by the way, and we'll talk about just what I love about it in a moment or two. Bottom left-hand side, our blue Protoss player looking to fight back, tie things up. This is MaNa. Okay, so I really like this map, just because of a couple of reasons, but the main one being that it does remind me a lot of King Sejong, and obviously King Sejong was not a perfect map. It was flawed and it did have advantages, but it was different to the regular bits and pieces. As you see me setting up the votes there, sorry, forgot to change the screen. Production value, please. Yes, just quickly worth mentioning then that you guys can vote on these matches. Exclamation mark, hashtag uThermal, hashtag MaNa in the chat. To put your vote in, let us know who you're cheering on in this series, and we'll look to see how that goes throughout. But yeah, I mean, the map reminds me a little bit of King Sejong Station, You have this natural here which points towards your opponent's natural. They're pretty close to each other. You can almost fit them in on the same screen if you take the overlay off. You can sort of put corner to corner, top right here versus bottom left there. They just get onto the same screen, but really only just. But yeah, obviously you have the rocks on the natural. Now actually this is the second map in a row where we've seen rocks on the natural. Now usually, actually in TVP it's not as much of an issue, but tank pushes and drops could maybe still have an effect, something we've not seen as much in TVP lately. What I do find interesting is maybe the possibility of a Terran taking down these rocks, taking this third base here, and then pushing across the map very aggressively with the shorter rush distance along like this. So I really feel there's some possibilities. I really feel like there's some options as to what could come up. What's up, Ambergrove? Thank you so much for the 91 bits as well. Appreciate it, dude. Thank you for supporting the channel even further than you already do. Do appreciate it. Just going to be seeing the Reaper is going to work his way through a couple of probes here. Not damage really dealt just yet, just a single kill, but forcing a couple off the mineral line. The Stalker having a loop around to try and find it. Reaper trying to stick around as long as possible to maybe get some scouting information. Grenade on the ramp, and he will just check for a probe on the low ground before he makes his leave with this Reaper for the moment here. Fred's in the chat saying, hope MaNa at least takes 3 maps today. I hope we get towards games 5, 6, and 7 at least. I mean, obviously game 5 I think is pretty rare to see someone 4-0, but I'd love to see a game 6, a game 7, just to see the maps that are vetoed up into game 6 and 7. That'd be pretty nice. Do you see this Reaper coming around at the top left-hand side? And as that happens, we see the Cyclone coming up here from uThermal. And the Starport just finishing as well. The Twilight Council and a couple more gateways coming up in the main base too. Votes starting to rain on Ian very quickly. Hashtag uThermal from Murky Wonders from Anders. A couple of hashtag MaNas from Snipe Shot and Six Sigma as well. It's actually all over the place, these uThermals and MaNas. You guys floating all over the shop to see who you want to see taking this one down. Reaper does go down. He has jumped into the main base just there. Did already get the full scout though, so he knows what's up. He knows what's going on. He's not going to be too upset about that. Uh-oh, Port got bit-owned. That's actually true. The 91 bits did kill Port as the bit boss. Rest in peace, Port. It was nice knowing you. 100 health just isn't enough in this day and age. Well, let's talk a little bit about uThermal's build, because it is a Viking into a Cyclone again. And now a second Cyclone coming up. Medevac coming through. In terms of what he could lift initially, okay, he's already got double Cyclones, so he would be able to lift those up and drop those across the map. Or he could run those across the map and drop the Marines. It looks as though he's going to go for the dropping Marine variant. We do have this Viking just to the left-hand side to help deal with the potential of a War Prison maybe moving out in this direction or so. Maybe just the opportunity to dive into the back of this mineral line and land. Vikings actually do surprisingly well against probes, just because of the fact that they do... I don't know, they just like the kind of speed at which they damage, because they do double damage, is pretty sick. It's picks up our probes pretty quickly. That's surprising speed. Vikings are pretty good. Well, that Medevac of uThermal's come over to the right-hand side as well. The Vikings still just sat here as uThermal already comes in. The Cyclone will get a kill on this pylon that was just placed by MaNa. He's scanning up the ramp. Cyclones alone against this many Stalkers probably won't do too great. Stalkers in the main, already looking to shut down the Medevac. No target firing though. Viking will land, and the probes are being, well, two-shot at the moment here, which is pretty brutal. And we are going to be seeing those probes continue to drop. Meanwhile, the Cyclones are pushed up the ramp. They are looking for the sentry kill, and he will get it. These Stalkers keep on dropping too. These Cyclones just taking so long to actually fall here, and MaNa is taking a lot of damage as uThermal just pushes forwards. This aggressive play as Blink finishes up. He'll blink in to help himself out here. MaNa trying to defend, but he'll come out behind on Workers, which against a Terran player is never great. A couple of Marines left over too, looking for an extra kill or two. They should be able to get maybe one more probe, maybe two more actually, because two of them won very low health. 16 Workers killed. Very nicely done. And as MaNa is the chat favorite, by the way, 57% of the votes to 42%. Keep those hashtags coming in, hashtag MaNa or hashtag uThermal, to show some love for either of these players here today. Obviously, we'll let that vote run throughout the entirety of the series. Siege tank is on its way up in the main. Liberator about to pop out as well. Couple of barracks being dropped down. Will just be the transition for uThermal now. Obviously, he's a little bit behind, but in terms of the follow-up here, his upgrades are non-existent compared to MaNa starting at 1-1. He doesn't have stim pack, and blinks like this could be a very frustrating feature. So already losing an SCV, building up this first barracks, and well, again, uThermal will have to take a moment to get back over there. Liberator across the map, though. Actually, the sieges, I might have been able to just kill that Stalker. 3 sieges, and if MaNa isn't paying attention, the Stalker will just go down. So Stalker killed, and now we'll continue to get some more probes. So while MaNa's losing workers to this Liberator as well, which is obviously a massive issue. So that really hurts, and that's going to be Liquid player. We already got one of them guaranteed a final spot here due to this team kill right now, but again, obviously TLO will be looking to make it 2 as we set on up into game number 3. To the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player, it is MaNa. Going up against the blue Terran, top right-hand side, uThermal. Let's see some love for MaNa in the chat. He's 0-2 down. It would be great to see him start to pull this back. Pull a bit of a settle from 0-2 down. Get him to move towards the game 7 at least would be awesome. How's everyone doing in the chat today? Is everyone enjoying the StarCraft, man? I mean, another historic day of StarCraft 2. The day a non-Korean player won a GSL-based event. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Again, I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you've enjoyed watching the Stats versus Serral finals today. GSL versus the world in general was just incredible as a tournament. And now you've got me to carry you through the rest of your Sunday. And again, obviously, after this, 2 more series, another best of 7 and a best of 9. As you have this probe coming in towards the upper right-hand side of the map. Probe is going to be coming up here. And just having a little bit of a scout around. As we have Command Center dropping into the natural. Alright, so setting up into this cybernetics core, going to be getting ready to roll. Early game here on year 0 is pretty regular, pretty slow. I didn't actually introduce you guys to Bubbles earlier. If you're new to the map contest today, this is Bubbles to the top side of the map. He's our friendly neighborhood tentacle-faced creature, and he's just watching over here on year 0. Some say it's Avex himself, the maker of the map. Others say he's just a friendly pet, and all he wants to do is watch some StarCraft like the rest of us. He's a little bit better equipped to do it with all 8 eyes. He can maybe watch different sets of harassment at the same time. But for ourselves, he's just Bubbles. Christened by Lambo. I love that Lambo named him on the first day. It really has stuck. As you do see, the factory is about to finish up here from uThermal. And as the factory finishes, the Widow Mine will start to come out from uThermal as well. So, Widow Mine coming up as we will be seeing this Adept shading around. Reaper just continuing to scout as well. MaNa yet to throw down any tech though, so the Reaper not going to get the sighting of tech this game like he did in the last. uThermal in general has been pretty good with this Reaper in terms of figuring out what's going on. No Stargate, just going to be a Robo facility and a Twilight Council being placed, so going to set up in towards, I mean, a few different options here. Robo obviously brings up the ability of going into observers for detection and just vision. You can get the Warp Prism out. The Twilight, this early in the game oftentimes does just mean blink, and that's not a bad thing. Blink's a very powerful way to open on the map to get map control, to be able to move around very easily and without issue. And so you are going to see these 2 Adepts. We're going to be heading over to the upper right hand side and just heading into the main base. Couple of Marines setting up here on this barracks. Viking just going to be getting set up as well, and getting ready to go as we have a blink upgrade coming in from MaNa. And a Stalker just getting set up. Another Stalker warping into the side, and again, Engineering Bay coming down from uThermal in the back of the Natural. Third Nexus is still coming along as well. And we manage just setting up nice and quickly into this for the moment. Really nothing too crazy. Stimpack, +1 attack on the Engineering Bay. Going to be coming in here as we do have the, again, Marines just setting up the Cyclone. Going to be going through. Observer wants to jump in towards the main base as well. Just get a little bit of vision, sieges up, then backs away. Maybe a little bit afraid of potential of being killed there. Double Forge MaNa option now to go in towards the stage of the game where he's going to be able to get double upgrades. As you get double upgrades, obviously the gateway-based army is going to be very powerful, and double upgrades will kind of carry you through without the need for splash damage for a lot longer than older school Terran vs. Pros players will be used to. If you've not watched StarCraft in a while, it's not all about just rushing up to Colossus anymore for Protoss. It really is a lot of the time gateway-based armies, Stalker, Zealot, and a couple of Mortals mixed in, then Archons, then moving into Storm a lot of the time, or maybe Disruptors. Or Colossus 2 is still a transition. It actually makes the matchup very variable in terms of the styles you can see and the different ways in which the players can approach a game. Just going to be seeing the Stalkers come in, and they will be able to pick off this Cyclone. So Cyclone gets picked off right now as we see the rest of these Stalkers are going to set up and blink on over the right-hand side. A Marine coming in, and uThermal is going to be having this Marine picked off. Medevac loads up with 8 Marines and will start to head up towards the upper side of the map. Recall from MaNa, just going to recall those Stalkers back home, so not taking any risks at all. Uses the energy to get the Stalkers back home. And now we do see a few of these extra Stalkers just going to gather to the side, ready to intercept this first Medevac. And, well, so far MaNa not really having much trouble against the early pressure. He's actually not lost anything against the Reaper, Cyclone, Marines, which he's been able to kill. And that's good, because so far MaNa's just been struggling with against uThermal. Now uThermal's going to push again. It's a similar attack to what I feel happened on Antigonus. We have these 6 Widow Mines, a group of bio, +1 attack ready before the 1-1 is of the Protoss. If uThermal can force a fight in the next few moments here when he has Stim 1-1, Stim +1 and combat against no 1-1, there's a real possibility of making something happen. uThermal will scan that army. He's like, okay, well, that's a fake Colossus. That's not as scary as you want it to be, bro. Here you go, Stim it forwards. I mean, the Widow Mines might just jump on the army. Charge isn't ready just yet either. Oh, that's annoying, because now the Widow Mines are going to zone out the rest of it. Stalkers on the Natural are going to take a lot of damage. We see those Widow Mines picking up kills over here. Oh, man, these Stalkers are going down as well, and MaNa is just not able to get into the mid-game of this PvT matchup, it seems. Stimming forwards, another couple of units going down. MaNa's going to tap out, and he just can't. Should be cheering on uThermal. uThermal, by the way, who has 50% of the votes against MaNa. It's dead even in the chat. These guys are 50-50. So let's see some hashtag uThermal. Let's see some hashtag MaNas as we introduce the players. As to the top left-hand side, the red Terran player is uThermal. And to the bottom right corner, the blue Protoss player. Give it up if you're cheering on Team Liquid's MaNa. So hashtag MaNa, hashtag uThermal to get that vote system moving and see who maybe takes the favorites. I want to see some love for MaNa right now, though. He's down 0-3. Terrible Tractors in the chat asks, are you putting up these replays anywhere by chance? Yes, after today, the entire Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament replay pack will be going out to subscribers on our Discord server. So if you want to get your hands on these replays, as well as all our previous replays, the most recent replay pack has matches from TY, Dark, Rogue, Hero, Cure, Innovation, and more. Replay pack is the place to be. Alrighty, well, getting into this one, the 4th map of the best of 7, and just not being as long and as epic of a series as we would have liked it to be so far. Probe going to nibble away here, a couple of SCVs just going to be fighting against each other. Nexus is on its way, of course. The early game I mean, the early builds, the very first few moments don't look too ridiculous. They look pretty much as we expect them to be. Wardy having quite some views today. That's because Blizzard are awesome and they set us up to be able to be hosted by GSL. So we got hosted by GSL 2 days in a row because of the ability to overlap and to sync up the tournament here with that. So that was pretty sick. Obviously, it's really crazy. For a moment or two, we had 15,000 viewers. Just for a moment. But yeah, the viewership is still staying strong. 4,500 of you here enjoying the games at the moment. Watching some Terran dominance. As you see, this Reaper is going to be chased around by the Adept. Reaper facility still just dropping down. The votes are moving. Lots of hashtag uThermal and Naga story. Hashtag uThermal, Hinjima. Hashtag uThermal, Warped Chaos as well. Crazy Gozo throws in hashtag MaNa in the middle along with Solia. Loads of hashtags coming down at the moment. Let's go MaNa. Hashtag MaNa says Shadow Eater, who's been here every day this week. The passion is real with this one. Actually, I know there's a few of you in chat have been here every day this week. Twilight Cancel and the Robo once again. This time the Robo's just a little bit faster than the Twilight. And as that Twilight finishes up, again, I mean, it feels like it should be Blink, although maybe we could see something like Resonating Glaives and Adepts just to change things up here. Maybe apply a bit more pressure. Again, MaNa has just been falling apart in these games so far. It's been a little bit unfortunate as uThermal. He's been set up in very similar ways, but this game is going to be very different. This is going to be multiple Widow Mines. This is going to be a medevac. And as those units jump into the medevac, we will see those Widow Mine drops coming around on the map. So, as the Widow Mines load up, it is again no Cyclone this time. We see a Cyclone as a follow-up, but nice to see uThermal even just changing up the early stages of the build just a little bit. That would be fantastic, of course. Now, Engineering Bay to start up here. MaNa's already once again going in towards the third base. And again, this Widow Mine drop going to get set up any second now. MaNa has to respond to this as quickly as possible. He should lose no more than 3 workers to this if he wants to be in a good position. And here we go. First Widow Mines dropping. Instant response from MaNa. Very well done so far. We'll get the Adept though. It's a nice pick off. I mean, Adept for Widow Mine. This Widow Mine's going to burrow and it will go off on... Oh, a few probes split away. 2 workers. Okay, this is fine, I think, because this medevac's going to die as well. 2 workers for... 2 workers, 2 Adepts, I think, for 3 Widow Mines and the medevac. This is okay. MaNa survives the early wave of aggression. He doesn't fall just yet. Now, uThermal has been setting up into that very aggressive follow-up with the kind of a lot of Widow Mines and a big push. Will he be able to do something similar here now? See double Forge from MaNa back at home again, looking to play this double Forge upgrade style. It's similarly timed as before, as uThermal gets the +1 attack upgrade on the way. MaNa's upgrades will just be a little bit behind, but of course eventually will take a lead because it's 2 Forges versus 1 Engineering Bay. And charge just being Chrono boosted. We do see some more Stalkers from MaNa coming in towards the upper left-hand side, and as they move toward the upper left, well, this Observer of MaNa already continued up towards the top. Cyclone just patrolling off to the side, and we will see 1 Marine already taken down, which is just trying to get some vision here. He wants to see attacks like this, though, you know, uThermal. He doesn't, you know, he wants to be able to know when MaNa is maybe trying to be aggressive. Observer to the side, maybe we see some sort of an attempt to blink in to kind of get rid of one of these upgrades. uThermal loads up 2 medevacs and will start to come down to the south to start things off, so there you go, the first drop setting up. And again, we saw this earlier today as well, as MaNa is on track to just walk into these medevacs. uThermal will just begin to unload, gets to the high ground. Doesn't have stim yet, which means he can't just stim into this, but with a Marauder unloaded, he should be able to use the high ground to his advantage, and Marauder does survive as uThermal will load up and go again. It was again the main base of the first game, which was the double drop, which went towards the main base, then uThermal just dropped off and went for the big push anyways as a follow-up. +1 is getting up from here. The big difference is he only has 4 Widow Mines. In all of his big pushes that have won games earlier, he's had 6 Widow Mines or so. and more, of course, then rallying across the map. And I think those Widow Mines have been a key feature in softening up and splitting up the Protoss army, giving uThermal obviously extra damage output, cleaning up a little bit here and there before the fight really starts, but also giving him time where he's able to just fire away with Marines and Marauders while MaNa tries to figure out how to set off those Widow Mines in the most efficient manner. Well, uThermal is going to move in forwards. The Widow Mines will burrow between the natural and the third base, and MaNa will have to start fighting towards this. uThermal will naturally set up into quite the little concave here. Widow Mines will get a couple of Zealots here. The Bio still fighting to the left as well. We'll find that Sentry, and that Immortal then going to be exposed. Stalkers coming in, though. The fact that this is already 14 workers killed, though, it's already good economic damage as the Stalkers... Well, even those are going to be in some trouble because they're going after Medivacs, but the Bio from the other side. Stalkers will blink away from the Widow Mines. One Widow Mine still connecting, though, going after this Immortal now. uThermal will not find much more. Medivacs will try and get away. The blink isn't here. He drops on the third base where already some Zealots are warping in. MaNa ahead of the game to some extent. His 1-1 upgrades are here, so he has the upgrade lead in this fight. As uThermal now will lose the Medivacs to the blinking Stalkers, and he will just try and... Well, he gets 2 more Stalker kills. But then he will have to leave, and that Medivac is just able to escape that at the very end. 2 more Widow Mines moving forwards. uThermal realizes it just in time to get them burrowed off to the side here. This Liberator a little bit off and away in a bit of a weird spot as well. It does get taken down too, so Liberator will fall. And we do see a couple of backs just being joined up right now onto these 5 racks total. That means, again, it's that very aggressive sort of setup now from uThermal. He's going to have a lot of production. He does have a third base already, so it's not completely reliant on these pushes to deal damage. He does have an economy behind it. As these Medivacs join back up together, it would be nice to see this Medivac being repaired, and uThermal's actually already going for that. Get it repaired, it means he can just have 1 extra Medivac being a bit healthier. He can be a bit more confident about just purely producing Liberators. And that is what we're starting to see at the moment. Stalkers coming forwards will find themselves a Marine. This Marine goes down. 2 more Liberators still being produced. And again, Widow Mines, Libs, Bio, all of this gathered up at the front of the natural. Small Stalkers from MaNa heading back over to the right-hand side toward the third base. Robot facility will be finishing very soon, so robot just about halfway done. Again, a Marine, a Marauder, pushing forward at the moment to set up into this. Just wants to clean out the middle of the map, just wants to see that there's not a unit here that'll see this attack coming. uThermal's upgrades even. As MaNa's Colossus are on the way, but he's only going to have 1 Colossus, no extended thermal lance for this fight. SCV is going down as we do see Zealots across the map are going to be cleaned out, though, pretty quickly. Observer sees this army of uThermal trying to find position. It's a lot of Liberators. 4 Liberators at this stage of the game is plenty. Already Stalker's forced to blink backwards here, and uThermal will find himself instantly in position over here. The recall of probes from the third base. That's cute because it does save the probes, otherwise they would have gone down. But MaNa will still be down in Nexus as uThermal sets up on the ramp. Stalker already taking the first shot already. Pylon will go down too, and we are just going to be seeing this little bit of Bio on the low ground as Zealots charge on forwards. That little bit of Bio being pushed away now. Again, a few more Stalkers will come in here. Widow Mines getting a shot or 2 off, and it looks like uThermal wants to set up the Liberators here because he knows the Stalkers aren't in position, and now he can drop on top of this position. The Colossus will actually be able to pull back though for the moment. A stim to target it down, perhaps. He does start to target it. I don't think there's enough Bio here to realistically survive, although he'll jump on this Colossus on the left side. He'll just get the kill. MaNa losing key units here that would be a big part of defending. Not able to mine gas off the natural as well, and here we go. The Stalkers blink forwards. The Liberators will eventually be taken down. But man, has this been a costly experience for our Protoss player, who comes out of this, well, equal on workers, but down a base, down half the supply. He does have 2-2 to 1-1. The upgrades are still there for MaNa. They're still in play. But the upgrades really are the only thing that's going MaNa's way at the moment. As we'll see these Liberators, these Widow Mines continue to gather together. They're going to push forwards now. The Liberators sieging up in front. There's not enough Stalkers to take them down. And the Gateway unit's just taking such a beating already. The less Gateway units there are, the easier it is to jump on the Colossus after that. More Bio to the south. Picks off another probe. Scan here, we'll see a few Stalkers, a couple Colossus. This Bio still gathered together. from the Brace here, firing away and getting rid of some more Stalkers too. 2 upgrades still coming into play. I mean, again, as uThermal catches up on upgrades, MaNa doesn't feel as though he has the money to really go in towards his own set of third upgrades, which obviously makes a little bit of sense. Mine's in the main base, finding 7 probes with him on the natural too. These drops, finding more damage as the Liberator siege up once again though. 1 Colossus falls, the 2nd Colossus probably going down. GG and good luck. uThermal has just stomped MaNa in this series. Unfortunately,